the beneficiary of the forged life insurance policy with a payout of $170,000 was none other than his wife, Barbara Steger. The final piece of evidence in the case came from a most unlikely source. At Durham High School, one of Russ Steger's students was cleaning a gym locker when he came upon a cassette tape. The voice on the tape was one he recognized immediately.
This is Russ Steger. This is January 29th, 1988, 10 minutes of 2. She stood there.
The tape was recorded just 3 days before Russ Steger's death. On the tape, he confided his belief that his wife, Barbara, was planning to kill him.
The last few nights, Barbara has woken me up and gave me what she said was 2 aspirin. She stood there to see if I took it. I did not take it.
Russ Steger went on to question the allegedly accidental death of Barbara's first husband.
The first one, I don't know what happened, but according to his parents, there was some foul play going on. He supposedly accidentally shot himself in their bedroom. My question is, did her husband, Larry Ford, accidentally shoot himself? Sometimes I wonder.
Steger also described the incident where he saw his wife with another man.
She came up with some guy. I couldn't see great, but I did see that they were in the car making out and stuff like this. When I was
listening to that tape was surreal. I had never, ever experienced anything quite like that in prosecution, where you try a case, a person for homicide, and yet the victim, who you represent, who has no voice in the courtroom, is now telling you what he is feeling, experiencing, and worried about immediately prior to his execution, so to speak.
Investigators now had both evidence and motive. Barbara Steger was arrested on a charge of first-degree murder.
Here, these will help you sleep.
Prosecutors believe that Barbara Steger had been planning her husband's death for weeks. First with poison, and when that was unsuccessful, with a gun. Shortly before dawn, prosecutors believe that Barbara removed the .25 caliber handgun from its usual place in the dresser drawer, walked over to her sleeping husband, and fired into the back of his head. The bullet entered at a downward angle. She was also standing above the bed, which explains the lack of powder burns on the bedding. To stage the scene, Barbara placed the spent shell casing just inches from her husband's head, which was a mistake. If the gun went off as she pulled it from under the pillow, as she claimed, the shell casing would have ejected to the right, towards the foot of the bed. The angle of the bullet, the placement of the shell casing, the lack of powder burns, the forged will, and life insurance policy, and, most damning of all, Russ Steger predicting his own murder on audio tape made a compelling case to jurors.
Without the forensics of this case, there would have been nothing but theory and speculation. And you can't prosecute theory and speculation. You've got to have physical evidence. That's where the forensics came in.
Barbara Steger was found guilty of first-degree murder and was sentenced to death. Her sentence was later reduced to life in prison after an appeal. The verdict was a bittersweet victory and little consolation for the loss of a dear friend and loved one.
I think those of us who cared so deeply for Russ ranted and raved and felt this was so unfair to take someone so special and so kind. And there's never an answer to why. There's never an answer to why evil wins sometimes.
Prosecutors also suspect that Barbara Steger was responsible for her first husband's death. But with her current life sentence, they see no need for further prosecution.
There's no doubt, although she appears to be a middle-class, everyday mom and wife who teaches Sunday school, there is a dark side to her in particular, and it even goes beyond dark. With her, it's just pitch black. There's something that never came out, never suspected. It's unfortunate that Russ Steger is dead.
This case was a terrible tragedy. A good man, not just one but two, are gone. And they're gone forever because of the criminal conduct of Barbara Steger. And our court system worked. It uncovered the truth. A verdict was rendered and justice was done.